nuclear accidents, nuclear weapons, radiation. But what if I tell you guys that uranium could offer one of the best risk to reward opportunities for the next decade? In this video, we will talk about uranium and why I have personally invested a very significant portion of my portfolio into this controversial metal. Okay guys, so let's begin. I have been personally investing in uranium since 2020, and at the time no one really cared about it because there was still a bad taste from the Fukushima and no one was interested in the asset. Now the opportunity was that the price was about $25 per pound, but the cost of production, so the miners had to pay about $60 to $65 per pound to actually produce the material. So that was the opportunity because uranium is, well, it's needed to the world. So there are about 440 nuclear reactors around the world, and countries like China, they're planning another 50 by 2050, I think. So the industry is growing from the perspective that, the trend is going towards nuclear, but the price of the actual asset that is required for that future was under the cost of production. So what that meant is that either the lights would go out, especially in countries like France. I think they produce about 60 to 70% of their overall electricity using nuclear. And without that, well, there will be a huge, huge problem. So the price had to fix itself in order for us to, I suppose, have the world which we actually want to have in the future. So since then, the price went to almost $100 per pound in 2024, I believe. And right now it went down back to about 70. Now, since 2020, it's 5 years. So the cost of production went up even further. So right now, there is a new opportunity to enter the uranium sector because there's still this balance between supply and demand. So the demand is increasing faster than supply. In countries like Niger, there was a coup. I think it was 2 years maybe by now, and they're one of the big producers as well. I actually had an investment in that country that did not go too well. But overall, uranium is needed. Uranium is scarce. It takes in the mining sector, or by scarce I mean there's not too many miners that produce the material. There is enough uranium in the world, but it takes about 10 to 15 years to actually permit the mine and build it and get it going. And sometimes in mining things don't go well as expected. So there's also a new player, Spot, which is the Sprott Physical Uranium Fund, and they offer an opportunity for investors to buy physical material, and they actually buy the physical material and they store it, and they never plan to sell it. So that sort of also artificially decreases the supply, which is going to increase the price. There are about 40 million pounds, I believe, of difference between the production and supply, which is a big deal because, one mine would never really cover that much production per year. And so I do sincerely believe that there is a huge opportunity within this sector. But I think, so first of all, you can invest passively by just buying either paper contracts or by investing into spot, which is the physical material. But I believe there is a huge opportunity within the miners, and that's my sort of sector of expertise. So there are large companies like Cameco, like Kazatomprom. Now they have performed quite well, but since then, when the price went from 100 back to 70, they declined. So they could offer good opportunities as well. You can go down the chain to the mid-tier companies and junior companies. There's even more potential upside, but I suppose the risk is also higher. But that's where I would have most of my money in, those sort of mid-tier companies. If you want, if you would like for me to give you some names, just say it in the comments. I will write them to you. But yes, guys, my main point was that there's a huge opportunity in this sector. No one really talks about it, and the price since then declined. If we are going to have recession, that could sort of slow down this overall thesis. But over the long term, guys, the trend is there because not many of you may know, but uranium is very, very clean energy. It's very green. If you take all the uranium waste that was ever produced, it would fit a football field. Now it's not going to be flat. It's going to be a bit in the height, but that's how clean uranium is overall. And we currently are not able to go fully to green energy or to renewables because you cannot really, at least at this stage, fuel a factory using solar, no matter where. So uranium offers this uh, very stable energy source, and we have seen even in Ukraine during the war, there is a huge, and Zaporizhia, there is a huge nuclear station, and it's doing well. Since 2011, when the Fukushima happened, reactors got much better. The level of security increased dramatically, so there's also really, really safe. Of course, there is a possibility. So if you would ask me what can go wrong, well, the thing that go wrong would be nuclear accident, of course. If that happened, that probably is going to kill the thesis because, well, for obvious reasons. But so that was supposed that would be our risk. But overall, if that does not occur, and the probability of that are really, really low, I think the trend is there. I think the trend for clean energy amplifies that. And I think we just have to look at what China's doing. We heard Trump uh, talking about uranium as well, because I'm sure he's been advised of how important it's going to be in the future if we do want to go from coal, from oil and gas. Even though from I have done a bit of research on that, and it looks like the peak oil production will be in 2040, 2050, because of how much energy we're going to need for AI. So my other idea is that because of AI, because of electrification of everything, because of we're still getting population increase, because of electrification of third world countries, we will require all energy sources. So it's not going to be this or this, it's going to be this and. Because again, AI will require a lot of electricity and our plans to make the world a better place. There is also this trend towards small nuclear reactors. So they are literally small, they're about the size of a van. And the idea would be that they would fuel factories, they could be in theory transported as well. And so that's a very unique opportunity as well. I personally do not invest into that because there could be permitting issues and a lot of that. But from the supply to demand thesis, that fuels it even more as well. If you're interested, guys, I have a completely free how to get started guide. It's not fully related to uranium, but it covers various wealth building paths like investing, trading, speculating, business. I've put a lot of energy and effort into that file, so if you're interested, please have a look. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you soon.